All right, guys. Any questions?
Yeah, OBJ back in some team drills today. How did you feel about that? How did he look?
Yeah, he looked good. It's good to have him back out. We've been working on the side with him with other things. It's just natural progression. So it was good to have him back out.
Freddie probably addressed this on Saturday, Friday, excuse me. But what does it do for Seibert's confidence to have a night like that?
Oh, well, I mean, he made one. So it's, I don't want to sound, facetious, but he's 4 for 4 with a 54-yarder, and it gave me confidence. So hopefully it gave him some.
How significant is it that Cole Quitless is holding on all 4 of his kicks?
It was, I guess, significant. He made them. So, we don't give excuses for missed kicks. It's either you kicked it through the uprights or you didn't. There's no real excuses for it. So whoever the holder is, the ball needs to go through the upright. And what are you doing back there?
You know what? I'm not sure. The short guy should be in this one.
That's what I always heard.
I guess the follow-up to that is, will Gillen hold off in this Detroit game?
Yeah, we
Rotation?
haven't really decided yet. We talked about those things on, when did I meet with you guys last?
Tomorrow, so that's probably
Tomorrow,
night.
tomorrow night, Wednesday. That's when we talk about those things. So you're learning though, I tell you what. Good job.
You've had Vernon now through the entire offseason. What's stood out to you about him, and how do you see him going forward with that defensive line you have?
Yeah, I think he's a significant member of it. We feel like you've got to have 4 guys that can get after the passer, and I think those guys can. His special skill set that he has is, he can go speed to power very quickly. And when he goes power, he's a powerful guy. You can stop the run, he just continues to get better and better every day, and, we're going to have a pretty good front.
You mentioned OBJ doing stuff on the side. He was working with Baker a little bit. Any concerns about the chemistry and where that's at now, or are they going to be able to get to where they need to be?
No, I think, they've been working through the whole camp as it is. Just because he wasn't in team drills doesn't mean they weren't working. It's fairly easy. You learn what to do. You learn where to line up. You learn what to do. You learn the depth and the area you're supposed to be in, and you've got it just about figured out. So I think he's a smart guy, and he's coming along.
Do you think that, they're going to do like all that extra stuff, even stuff behind the scenes, to make up for some of those misreps, though?
Well, we don't want to overwork him right now. We haven't started playing yet, so we haven't even gotten into game planning and stuff like that. But they'll definitely be on top of their game when we start game planning and timing and stuff like that, rather than just useless things that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's exactly what I said. It's like knowing where to be, where to line up, where to be, getting to your depth, and then catching the ball. After that, it's just you get the ball in his hands and see what he can do.
So you think Baker
Go
knows,
ahead.
You think Baker knows where he wants the ball, or do you throw that out the window with a guy with a radius like him?
No, we're still accurate. We want to be accurate as the quarterback, and because now you start talking about run after catch opportunities and stuff like that. So accuracy is always, at the forefront of everything we do.
After looking at that film, I know we're not weighing too much on a 3rd preseason game, but was Baker uncharacteristically inaccurate?
I think when quarterbacks play the game, they have to feel comfortable. They have to feel comfortable from the standpoint of where people are, where they're lined up, where they're going to be, and then you need people to make plays. Baker wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, okay? But there's so much of it that goes into making him look more sharp. And I think collectively, O-line, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, and quarterback, we were off, and that can't happen.
He threw, I think, 26 times in that first half. I'm guessing that was by design, and how much of that was to really give you an opportunity to evaluate that wide receiver group, that you've got to kind of pick a few guys for very few jobs?
You are on your game today, aren't you? So, not only do you have an opportunity to evaluate the wide receivers, you evaluate the protections, You know, we're using a couple of different protections in that game for the first time to try to evaluate those because it puts you more in one-on-one matchups. You're evaluating the backs and blitz pickup. You're trying to even create some hots and sights for yourself to work those. You know, every game we went into wanting to work on something. It's very specific, and that game was no different, and we failed miserably.
Was the play of the O-line concerning to you?
You know, you've got to chalk it up. I'll tell these guys all the time, the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield, all right, for a reason. They're going to continue to look forward and get better from that performance, and we're going to gain and be better because of that performance, not in spite of it.
When you look at Greg, when you look at Greg Robinson,
You were on your game too, huh?
he waited.
Yeah.
When you look at Greg Robinson, did he build up enough trust in you and the staff from how he played in the final 8 games last year to not make you worry if he struggles?
Every year is new. Every day is new. To me, every period and every rep is new. So hopefully we can all get on that same page, that it only matters about the play you're playing right then, if that answers your question. So I don't care how he played last year. I want him to play good this year.
But you still try. I mean, you still have confidence that he's the right guy left tackle.
Yeah, he just needs to get better, continue to get better, and I expect him to be better week 5 than he is week 1, and week 9 better than he is week 5. You know, continue. That's been the mantra of the whole camp, and that can't stop now just because we've broken training camp.
Obviously, somebody like Devereaux Lawrence to acquire him, he was traded for. Has he exceeded expectations at all?
You know, I think, you know, Devereaux's a good example of somebody that did not worry about his surroundings and just worried about himself and stayed focused on what he had to do to get better, and I think you're seeing the results of that. Did we see surprises? I wouldn't say surprises because anytime you trade for someone, your expectation level of them is up there, but he's definitely made good on his opportunities.
Did you have any thoughts on Andrew Luck retiring the other night? Did it catch you by surprise? Did you catch up with him in Indy and all of that?
I did. I spoke with him in Indy. Our Andrew and I's relationship goes back to when Jim Dre got married, and I met him at Jim's wedding, evaluated him coming out. You know, great dude. I don't have a thought on it. I think if that's what he wanted to do, I respect what he wanted to do, and if his heart wasn't in it, he needed to. And I know that's Indy people doesn't like to hear that, but that's facts. I mean, you know, he's got to be happy with himself first and foremost, and if that's what makes him happy, that's what he needs to do. And I'm happy for him that he had the strength to do it.
Freddie, to what extent are you in Titans mode now?
We're not in Titans mode. We're trying to get better tomorrow, and give these guys the opportunity that are going to play in this game to succeed and put them a plan in place that will enable them to showcase what they can do.
Freddie, you've been saying that the defensive line is the strength of this team. I know it's just one game, but that first half in Tampa, is that kind of what you had in mind when you've been saying that?
Every time they go out.
How's Joe Schobert adjusted to this?
Not to be short with you, it's just every time they go out, that's what I expect. And they expect it out of themselves. And that's where I want their expectations to be. I want to keep our expectations on that, not everything else around us, from that example.
How has Schobert adjusted to this new scheme and, you know, all the changes with Steve Wilkes coming in, and how has he done?
Yeah, I think he's done good. You know, Shows is a smart guy in there. He can get them lined up. He can get himself lined up, and he seems to be playing fast. So that's a good sign of somebody that gets it, and he's definitely been playing well.
Hey, Freddie, I'm going to ask you to go back to the day that you got the job here and we had that press conference. You were talking about watching those FedEx trucks and listening to Alabama games. And you said you didn't know you were going to get into coaching, but you want to do something with football. So my question is, how did you get into the coaching job at Glenville State?
I was selling cars in Tuscaloosa at Magnolia, Nissan, BMW, and was salesman of the month 2 out of 3 months. I worked there for 3 months, and went home one night and was just not happy. You know, was just kind of living life, not happy, internal happiness per se, and saw where the Auburn offensive line coach got the head coaching job at Glenville State College, and his name was Rick Trickett, and I called him. He said, I can't pay anything. I can give you $500 either all at once or $125 a month. I said, I'm going to need it all at once. And 2 days later, I was up there. I went in and quit at the car dealership and ended up there. And then ever since, I knew I wanted to coach.
And then what were you doing there?
I was coaching. First of all, I was washing laundry, picking up rocks on the field, doing really everything. That was Division II football, so we didn't have a grounds crew. We had, I mean, one day when over a few drinks, I'll tell you some great stories. But, you know, kind of doing everything. But when it came to the football field, I was coaching running backs and tight ends.
Because when you talk about, you know, you had to run fast, you talked about that quote that you often give.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, isn't it? That,
Yeah.
the way-
No doubt. If you want to do something special, you better run faster. And it's those who start behind in the game of life must run faster to catch up.
So how many
Benjamin E. Mays. There's a high school in Atlanta named after.
cars did you sell to win Salesman of the Month?
I don't remember exactly, but I know I was making enough money that my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now, her and I could go out to eat dinner every night. So, so that was plenty.
How did she,
That was more than I ever had before.
how did she take the news you couldn't go out to dinner anymore after you?
Well, unfortunately, she had to stay in Tuscaloosa. She was teaching at the time, and she stayed in Tuscaloosa. And I got in my truck with the broken front suspension and drove to Glenville, you know, State College.
Freddie, do you?
It's right in the middle of the state. It's off of Interstate 79, exit number 79, heading north. You get off, you hang a right, and you watch your tail lights for about 15 miles.
Keep in touch with that Rick Trickett then?
Oh yeah, he's not working right now. He was at Florida State most recently. And then when Jimbo went to Texas A&M, he did not go with him. But I think he's back at Glenville actually messing around. That's the area of town, the country he's from, is that Glenville area. You know, got a good friend down there named Ike Morris that I met through Coach Trickett, and still stay in touch with him. Good people, great people down there.
Freddie, do you remember what you liked and didn't like about selling cars?
No, I probably shouldn't say. I don't, you know, I like being, I'm going to get a letter in the mail, I know, for this, but I like just being straight up and honest with people. And I'll leave it at that. I mean, you know, like you got to be able to call bullshit on some of it. And, you know, I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I like to tell you, I wouldn't buy this car for this much. Here's what we can give it to you for. But then you don't make any money, so you're kind of torn. Yeah. So, you know, it's like those, I don't think they do it anymore, but they used to sell encyclopedias when they walk around and sell encyclopedias. You always thought that the price that they gave you is what you paid for it. I never knew you could haggle on the price, you know, but then the internet hit and encyclopedias is. Found a great set though at right before we left to come here from Arizona. Found a great full set at a antique shop. Yeah, so we bought it. It's from '84 though, so think about that. From 1984, a set of encyclopedias. But it's very interesting to read still and see how things have changed.
World Book, what was it?
It was World Book Encyclopedia. Yeah, I think the two brands were World Book and Britannica. Yeah, yeah.
Freddie, when you looked out there today and you see OBJ out there, you see David Njoku was back. I mean, was order sort of restored in terms of what you have offensively on this team?
You know, it's good not to make it sound, you know, minuscule to have them back. Of course, they're back, and of course, it's nice to have them back. But what we want to get to, we want to raise the level of normalcy. So what I mean by that is the expectation is that you run your routes properly. You run your routes at the correct depth with the right technique. And if it's anything other than that, we can fix through coaching. But we just want you to do the best you can do. And if you can't do that, then we're asking you to do something you can't. The other night, from quarterback to running back to tight ends, I don't want to leave anybody out. If they played offense, just assume I'm talking about them. We didn't do very much the way we're supposed to do it, and we didn't do a good enough job coaching it because it didn't get done, all right? So all that is in the process of getting rectified. I feel like it got rectified. Now, what ability does for you is covers up some of the other things, all right? Now, we've got to get to the point where that will take effect. So yes, it's nice to have them out there, but our work's not done by any stretch of the imagination.
Freddie, a lot has been made of you getting call plays in the 4th game last year. Are you planning to let somebody else call plays this week?
I don't know yet.
I know I asked you about Stump last week, but I guess those guys call him the Wizard.
Seems like I need practice too, so.
I know Shub said those guys call him the Wizard. Is he a wizard?
Call Stump the Wizard? Yeah, he kind of looks like one, doesn't he? I mean, yeah, it was, my daughters saw Stump, and they were like, Mr. Stump, and he's got his, his white beard and his, I don't even know what else he's got going on up there, but again, I think you guys know how I feel about Stump, and we can call him a wizard, we can call him anything we want to call him, but first and foremost, he's a good football coach.
What do you think of Stone Cold's route running?
I can't say it on air. I've been reprimanded at home for some of my terms, and that would directly happen again.
Was that fun to be involved with that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's not really, yeah, I guess so. Anytime I can support our players in anything like that, I'll do it. But I don't think I'd be out there doing it myself.
Is he coaching?
I could show him a couple moves, though. That.
In the ring, you mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Like my patented move is a soup bone. You know what that is?
Demonstrate on Tony,
Yeah. Does anybody here know what a soup bone is?
No, we'd like to see.
That's when you come off the top rope and
Oh, okay.
elbow them right on top of the head.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Got to get high on the turnbuckle, though.
Huh?
Why is it at the elbows?
I have no idea. I actually spelled it wrong. I don't think it's spelled like soup bone. It's like one word, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe, can you do the research on that and come back?
Chicks like fucking
Check it out.
Might be
Yeah.
hyphenated.
No doubt.
How do you perfect that?
How did I perfect it?
Who do you practice that?
I grew up in Gadsden, Alabama. You better have more than one move. So,
We good? We good?
hey, we're trying to have a good time here, man.
Do we have to stop?
Hey, appreciate you guys. All right.